3.5, dividing polynomials. So this is something you've done before. Hopefully you remember how to divide polynomials using long division and synthetic division. So long division. So you have this divided by this. The way we set it up, just like a regular long division problem, whatever is being divided, we call this the dividend, not a word that you need to know. This is being divided by the divisor. Again, not a word that you need to know either. So the way I like to talk about this is I need to use this number to knock out this number, and then I'm going to use this number again to knock out the next one and the next one, and so on. So you can do this mentally in your head, or you can do a little trick to help you figure it out. The little trick, what I like to do, if I split my paper into 3 parts, if you ever forget how to do this, if I take these two numbers and I divide them, this is equal to 5x. That tells me that the first part of my answer is going to be 5x. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that 5x and I'm going to distribute it to my original divisor. And I get 5x squared plus 5x. Okay. I'm just distributing and I'm just putting here. The biggest thing that people always forget is this is being subtracted. So you can't just cross them out unless they are opposite. So the easiest way to do it is just go ahead and change your signs. Change that sign, change that sign. 5x squared minus 5x squared goes away. 3 minus 5 is negative 2x. Bring down this negative 2. And then just do the process over again. But now I'm going to use this number. So again, you don't have to do this right side if you don't want to. If it helps you remember, go ahead. This is negative 2. That means negative 2 is going to go there. Same thing with this left side. You do not have to do it if you don't want to. It's just a way of thinking about it. Multiply, multiply, and I get negative 2x minus 2. And then go, again, don't do that. It's not actually crossing anything out. You got to change the signs. Change the sign, change the sign. That allows that to cross out. That allows that to cross out. You get a 0 at the end, so your answer is 5x minus 2. So this is the alternative to factoring. I'm not going to do this next one. I think you can do it. I want to show you a synthetic division problem. So synthetic division, same thing. You got two things here. So you got to use this one. But we're only going to use the number. The idea is we can do this without having any x's in there. So you have your 2 here. And then you have your 4, your 10, negative 6, negative 20. A couple ways to do this. The book likes to do it that way. I like to do it this way. Maybe I'm just weird. But that 2 is in the box. You can choose whichever way you want as long as you're dividing them, separating them to your standards. First step is always bring down this 4, the first number. And then again, you don't have to do these lines, but what we're doing is we're multiplying and we are putting in the next spot. As you do this, the number should get smaller and smaller. If it does not, go back and check something. Okay? And you can see I'm going to get 18 here because I'm going to add them. And I know exactly what's going on. So the biggest thing about synthetic division that everyone forgets is this symbol. Always, always do the opposite. It's x plus 2. I have to do a minus 2. So then this will give me a negative 8. Now this has 10 minus 8, which would be a 2. And again, see the number getting smaller. Do the same steps over. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Negative 6, negative 4 is negative 10. Negative 2, negative 10 is a positive 20. So I have a negative 20 plus 20 is 0. So now my answer. So I have this 4. I have this 2. I have this negative 10. So my answer is 4x squared plus 2x minus 10. As you're dividing, the power goes down by 1. We start off with power of 3. We end up with a power of 2. It just goes down by 1, and you just count. So synthetic division, of course, it is faster. But you got to make sure you do it properly. So like number 20. So you cannot do synthetic division yet. Synthetic division can only be done if there's no number here. So what you have to do, divide these by 2. So I have to use that 3 over 2 in my box. So that's 0. If you don't know where I got that 0 from, again, synthetic division or division is very, you got to make sure you have everything there. So I have an x to the 3rd power here. I have an x to the 2nd power here. I'm missing a regular x before I get to that 4. So what we do is we have to introduce the placeholder 0x. And that's where it comes from. So again, synthetic division, bring down this first number, multiply, put it in the next spot. I'm going to stop drawing arrows. So negative 3 over 2 times 6 is negative 9. This is 8. 12. 12. 18. 14. So it's okay if you don't get a 0 at the end. That is perfectly fine. This problem, at the end here, so 6 is not, these are not your answers yet. Because we start off by dividing by 2, we have to finish the problem dividing by 2. To keep it consistent. Notice not the 14, but the 14 is a remainder. That thing's going to stay by itself. So it's actually going to be 3, 4, 6. That 14 is over here. So 3x squared plus 4x plus 6. The 14 is a remainder. The way we write remainder is we say 14 over 2x minus 3. 2x minus 3 came from here. It will always be like that. The remainder is just always the number that's left over whatever your divisor is. Number 24 is done very similar, so I'm not going to go over it. Find your missing value. You're missing a x squared value here, so you need to do a 0x squared in between. So look at this word problem. So this word problem says, if you have a rectangular solid, so imagine you have a box. So they say the volume is 3x to the 4th minus 3x to the 3rd minus 33 squared plus 54. That's the volume. The length is 3x, so let's say this is the length. And the width is x minus 2. Find the height. So a couple things you need to know. Remember, the volume is length times width times height. Well, I know what the length is. I know what the width is. I know what the volume is. We need to find the height. So I'll just plug it in. So I have 3x to the 4th minus 3x to the third minus 33 x squared plus 54. This is equal to 3x x minus 2 times h. There's an x with that one. So, you're like, where do I start? Well, I need to solve for h, so I need to find a way to get rid of that. Find a way to get rid of that. Just divide. Divide by 3x. Divide by 3x. That will reduce it, so they're gone. And now I just need to divide each one of these by that 3x. So I get x to the third power. That one, x to the third power. And minus x squared minus 11x plus, is that 18, I think. Yes, 18 is equal to x minus 2 times h. And we just got to do it again. Now I got to get rid of this x minus 2. Go ahead and divide that. That goes away. You cannot do that. Please don't do that. This is just a synthetic division problem. So negative 2 there, so it's going to be 2, 1, negative 1, negative 11, 18. Synthetic division this real quick. 2, or me a 1. And then I got a 2, I have a 1, 2, negative 9, negative 18, 0. So this is x squared plus 1x minus 9. That is equal to your